Welcome to solverfy.
In this problem, we have to find the p-value interval for the given chi-square value. We will first find the degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom equal to n minus 1. So, degrees of freedom equal to 28 minus 1, which is equal to 27. Now, chi-square equal to 13.974 lies between 12.879 and 14.573 as seen in the table for the chi-square distribution under degrees of freedom equal to 27. The corresponding alpha values are 0.99 and 0.975. Since these values are found on the left side of the distribution, each value must be subtracted from 1. So 1 minus 0.99 gives us 0.01 and 1 minus 0.975 is equal to 0.025. Since this is a two-tailed test, the area must be doubled to obtain the p-value interval. 0.01 multiplied by 2 is equal to 0.02 and 0.025 multiplied by 2 is equal to 0.05. So, our p-value interval is 0.02 less than p less than 0.05. For this problem, degrees of freedom equal to n minus 1. Since n equal to 19, degrees of freedom equal to 19 minus 1, which is equal to 18. Chi-square equal to 10.571 lies between 9.390 and 10.865 as seen in the table for the chi-square distribution under degrees of freedom equal to 18. The corresponding alpha values are 0.95 and 0.90. Since these values are found on the left side of the distribution, each value must be subtracted from 1. 1 minus 0.95 gives us 0.05 and 1 minus 0.90 is equal to 0.1. Hence, the p-value interval is 0.05 to 0.1. Now, for this problem, degrees of freedom equal to n minus 1, but n is given 6, so degrees of freedom equal to 6 minus 1, which is equal to 5. Chi-square equal to 12.144 lies between 11.071 and 12.833. As seen in the table for chi-square distribution under degrees of freedom equal to 5. The corresponding alpha values are 0.05 and 0.025. Since this is a two-tailed test, the area must be doubled to obtain the p-value interval. So 0.05 multiplied by 2 is equal to 0.1 and 0.025 multiplied by 2 is equal to 0.05. Hence, the p-value interval is 0.05 less than p less than 0.1. Now, degrees of freedom equal to n minus 1. For this problem, n is given to be 23. So, degrees of freedom equal to 23 minus 1, which is equal to 22. Chi-square equal to 8.201 will lie before 8.643. As seen in the table for the chi-square distribution under the degrees of freedom equal to 22. The alpha value corresponding to 8.643 is 0.995. Since this value is found on the left side of the distribution, it must be subtracted from 1. So, 1 minus 0.995 is equal to 0.005. Now, since this is a two-tailed test, the area must be doubled to obtain the p-value interval. 0.005 multiplied by 2 is equal to 0.01. Hence, our p-value is less than 0.01.